date is what? 11th, is it? Or 12th?
Today is 11.
Right. We continue with, we have Genesis chapter we're supposed to be tonight. We are dealing with what chapter tonight?
24, 25. Should be 20 something.
The battle.
We're dealing with Genesis 23. I don't know whether we will get to 24, 25 tonight. Let's see if we can get to 25 tonight. Okay. You want to start now? Are you set?
Yes.
History of Israel, Torah class. We are on Genesis chapter 23. We've dealt with Genesis 20, 21, 22. And that's Genesis 20. We looked at Abraham's sojourn in TORAH. Ostensibly how he lived there. It wasn't a nice experience when Abraham went to TORAH. He had to compromise with the wife Sarah to say that he is brother to Sarah. That is to say they are not legally, they are not married, they are not husband and wife, but to say they are just brother and sister. At the end of the day, it was for Abraham to safeguard himself from being killed, being murdered by Ahimelech. But at the end of the day, Yahweh intervened to save the situation. So at the end of the day, he had a short stay in that land and came back. In chapter 20 as well, we see expectation of Abraham's son coming. Chapter 18, when Yahweh visited Abraham, he made a promise that by 9 months time, Sarah will bear a baby son, and his name will be called Isaac. And in chapter 21, we see that the baby was delivered, and the name was called Isaac. Isaac was the expected seed through which Abraham will inherit the land, and the children of Abraham, called Israel, will inherit the land. So Abraham had to hand over the baton of that inheritance to Isaac after his exit. And through Isaac, subsequent seed that will come from that lineage will be the possessor of the land of Canaan. And ostensibly the seed that Yahweh had in mind is his coming son, Yeshua, our Messiah. So from Abraham, Isaac loins are said to be the free people. Isaac was born free son. What does it mean? While Ishmael was born slave son. So by free, it means that Isaac is to be the child of covenant, the child that was promised, the son that was promised, the son that was to inherit the land. The issue is about what is at stake is about seed and the land. And there is nothing discussed in the Bible that will not talk about seed and the land at the end of the day. Whether it's Old Testament or New Testament, you talk about seed in Old Testament, you talk about seed in New Testament. The same thing applies in Old Testament and New Testament pertaining the land. You remember that when the Jewish people asked Yeshua when he came eventually, and they wanted to find out how they can get into the kingdom and where the kingdom is. And he told them that the kingdom is within them. The kingdom is near thee, is within thee. So which kingdom was he referring to? Was referring to the land. Was referring to the land. They were living in the land. Did they know that he was talking about the land? About the kingdom, which is the land? Did they know? So whether in Old Testament or New Testament, you talk about the land. And the reason that Yeshua is coming back is to, repossess the land. The land of where? The land of Israel. To repossess it. So that is what we've been discussing all along. Trying to find out what this is all about. We have in chapter 22, Abraham passed the tests of obedience and faith, as well as Isaac also, because if Isaac was not obedient son, was not a faithful son, sacrificing him at his age would have been difficult for Abraham. Tempting to use him or take him to the altar for sacrifice would have been a really big issue. But that test to Abraham, that Yahweh, put to Abraham, and ostensibly which Abraham also carried out, Abraham was able to pass that test. And that test was that Isaac will be sacrificed. And it was very big impossibility. Yahweh knew, and he didn't mean that Isaac will die, but he was tempting the heart of Abraham, whether Abraham will go with him. He wanted to prove, Yahweh wanted to prove if Abraham will continue to hear his voice, obey his voice. Obey his voice. Obey Yahweh's voice. And keep his covenant with him. So Yahweh wanted to find out whether Abraham is solidly behind him. That is chapter 22. And Abraham did not fail. He did not fail. He succeeded in proving that he is equal to the task. He was an obedient man. He was a man that paid attention each time Yahweh spoke. Today we go to chapter 23. Chapter 23, we look from 23, 24, 25, which we want to, deal with. We want to look at the culture, tradition, if you like, the values of Yahweh's people. Want to look at, what obtains. This is the family. We are looking at, Abraham, Sarah, and Isaac. This is the three persons there that Yahweh chose. We know that Ishmael is there and all his family. We know that there are 70-something people that Abraham brought into that land of Canaan with him. And we know that Ishmael was there as well. Eliezer was there as well. So other people. But these are these three persons form the family of Abraham. The nucleus family that Yahweh has called or choose as covenant people who were circumcised, particularly the man Abraham and the son. We have said that circumcision is a sign which Yahweh has used, to trace or showcase his people. It proves whom you are. This afternoon I googled, tried to see from Nigerian side who and who does circumcision. I looked at, because Yorubas are people that are a little bit close in terms of a bit of culture or tradition to the Igbos, but their minds are apart anyway. Now I looked at the Yorubas, if they do circumcision. I couldn't find out from Google, didn't show me anything pertaining to them. Rather, they were talking about female genital mutilation and so on and so forth. Didn't quite show me that the Yorubas does it. But as soon as I place Igbos and circumcision, it just jumped out. Say, this is tradition. This is their culture. This is their word. So what does that tell us? That tells us that Igbos practice the Bible. Igbos practice what they inherited from the forefathers. And Igbos, whether you like it or not, they are Israelites. Any nation that you see follows circumcision squarely. There's other things, other factors. By the time you zero it, you discover that they may be Israelites, because this is an old tradition that stems from Abraham, given to the people of Israel. So it's very, very important for us to understand who a particular people are. That is one of the signs, signposting who we are. So let's go to Genesis 23. Genesis 23. There we look at Sarah's death. Sarah, the mother of nations, had died. She was aged, well, as we have it at that time. She died at the age of 127. Is it 127? Let's see. Let's read it, verse 1. And Sarah was 107 and 20 years. That is 37. That should be 37. 100 plus 20 plus 7.
And 20.
Okay, that is 127, isn't it?
107 and 20.
And 20 years old. That is 127. So she was 127 years old. These were the years of the life of Sarah, the mother of holy people, the mother of chosen or covenant keepers, the mother that feared Yahweh, the mother that obeyed her husband, faithful to Abraham, was key. All that years she lived with Abraham, she remained faithful with the man. And no matter what, the hostile nation, the Gentile nation, the Canaanites threw at her, she, cleaved with the husband and obeyed Yahweh. It was a very difficult environment. The Canaanites, the Amorites, they were very wicked people. And at the end of the day, these are the people who lived by the word of Yahweh. They never shifted, they never, look at the world we are today. If it's only you in your family, or in your house, or within the environment you live, you see how hostile people will be around you. When many people are not subscribing to the way or your faith which you profess, you find out that life will be, horrible. But Abraham, when you read the Bible, it appears Abraham didn't feel it. And honestly, when you are with Yahweh, you won't feel it. No matter how bad the situation is, no matter how terrible people may throng at you, be hostile at you, be wicked at you, in as much as you look unto Yahweh continuously, you are fervent in your prayer, constantly communicating to Yahweh, in fact, they will respect you. Nations around Abraham respected him, respected Sarah. And Yahweh was demonstrating that friendship, that relationship with Abraham. So Abraham didn't feel loneliness. Abraham didn't feel isolated. The world may isolate you. The people, may look or be indifferent around you. But I tell you, Yahweh makes things work around the environment you live. Yahweh makes things work for you. Make people see you as exceptional. And they will literally come to you for counseling. I was reading the book of Joshua, because the book of Joshua reported very well about Abraham and his family. And he said Abraham had one thing that was going with him in the land of Canaan. When he got there, after the covenant, after the promise by Yahweh and all that, Abraham came back from the land of Jerah, returned to Canaan, ostensibly Mamre. It was said that Abraham built a post where he stayed, and he was giving gifts, was blessing people, was praying for people, was doing charity work, so to speak. And the people of the environment loved him. You see what was going on with him? Goodwill. He was expressing goodwill. He was showcasing goodness of Yahweh. He was showing the way of Yahweh. And he was preaching to them. Book of Joshua says he was preaching to them. Yes. The book of Genesis may not show you that. That's one of those things. But the Bible said Abraham preached to the people of his time and showed the love of Yahweh to them. And that way, people flocked around him instead of people running away from him. So when you love Yahweh, you relate with him very closely, keeping his covenant commandment. Yahweh will hold you dearly. And whatever you say is law. Whatever you say is the goodwill and the goodness of Yahweh coming out. And people will, when you open your mouth, people will literally, love you. And they will respect you. And people of that land, the land of Canaan, they didn't only respect Abraham, they feared Abraham, because the favor of Yahweh was with him. When Sarah died, Abraham made a frantic effort. The first time Abraham purchased a land in that country, he went and bought a land, negotiated for it. He wanted to pay for it, and the people of the land said, no, you cannot buy the land to bury your dead. You just take it. Abraham said, no. I will buy it with my money. So that was the first time we hear Abraham purchasing a land in that land that was promised to him. So he bought it, and the Bible said it was from the people of Ephraim. And the man that he bought it from, the name is Ephraim, the Hittite of Heth. So Abraham buried the wife and continued with Yahweh, to be faithful to Yahweh, obedient to Yahweh, trusting Yahweh in all things. And he lived there even to full ripe old age. Now, he continued living there with his son. Abraham and the son now, Isaac, continued with life. At this time, the young boy or the young man is matured and they want to take a wife. Isaac and wife. And we see that at the end of the day, he will marry the person that is called Rebekah. But we want to look at how this happened. We want to look at how it happened. Let us turn to Genesis 24. Genesis chapter 24. Genesis 24. And Abraham was old and well stricken in age, and Yahweh had blessed Abraham in all things. And Abraham said unto his eldest servant of his house, that ruled over all that he had. Who was that? Eliezer. Put, I pray thee, thy hand under thy thigh, and I will make thee swear by Yahweh, the Father of heaven, the Yahweh of heaven, and the Yahweh of the earth, that thou shalt not take a wife unto my son of the daughters of the Canaanites, among whom I dwell, but thou shalt go unto my country and to my kindred, and take a wife unto my son Isaac. And the servant said unto him, peradventure, the woman will not be willing to follow me unto the land. Must I needs bring the son again unto the land from whence thou comest? Abraham said, do not take wife for my son Isaac from the land of Canaan or Canaanites, for Yahweh will not allow that. Here we see Abraham making sure that he keep to the tenets of the covenant. The covenant with Abraham is that Abraham, stay in this land. Don't go back to the land where you are born, Mesopotamia, where you come from. Don't return to any, don't just move out to any other place to resettle. You or your son, Isaac, or your son's son, no more leaving the land. That land, you will own it at the end of the day. So that sank in his head, and he had it in his heart. And here is the gentleman taking care of all he had, all his estate, everything, all his possession. He was in charge. Called Eliezer. And Eliezer said, Abraham said to Eliezer, go and get a wife for my son, because Abraham was relatively old, though not to the point that he cannot go out. But he sent this young man an errand. Go and get wife for my daughter, for my son. But do not go to the Gentiles. Do not go to the Canaanites or Amorites. So the young man said, I will go, but in case I searched round, no lady would agree to come with me into Canaan. How will I do? Will I come and take Isaac back to Mesopotamia or land of Chaldees, where you came from? Abraham said, no, don't do that. If you go speak to a lady, Yahweh will make it work for the lady to follow you. Abraham said, go, and Yahweh will go with you. Let's look at the subsequent verses there. And Abraham, verse 6, and Abraham said unto him, beware, that thou bring not my son thither again. Don't take my son back to where I came from. Don't, because I have an agreement with Yahweh. I have covenant with Yahweh. Yahweh of heaven, which took me from my father's house and from the land of my kindred, and which spoke unto me, and that sware unto me, saying, unto thee, unto thy seed will I give this land. He shall send his angel before thee, and thou shalt take a wife unto my son from thence. So he said, Yahweh will go with you, and Yahweh will make it work. Verse 8, and if the woman will not be willing to follow thee, then thou shalt be clear from this my oath, only bring not my son thither again. So Abraham said, even if at the end of the day no lady agrees to come with you, don't worry. This oath you took, because Abraham made him to put his hand on by his thigh and swear. Abraham made him to swear. He took an oath that he will not take Gentile lady for the son. So he said, even if no lady agrees, don't try to leave my son in the land of Canaan. And the servant put his hand under the thigh of Abraham, his master, and swore to him concerning that matter. Concerning what? Which matter? Concerning bringing a woman, a wife to Isaac, and not to take Isaac away from the land. A woman has to come from wherever she lives and live with the son in the land of Canaan. It will not be the reverse. Isaac will not go and live with whoever outside the land of Canaan, either any other part of Canaanite, even in the Canaanite land, submitting to the Canaanites, no. Or going back to Mesopotamia, no. Or Amorites, no. Or Egypt, no. It will never be to the Gentiles. And the lady must not come from the Gentiles, must come from the family of Abraham. Verse 10. And the servant took 10 camels of the camels of his master, and departed, for all the goods of his master were in his hand. And he arose and went to Mesopotamia, unto the city of Nahor. So he went. Where did he go? To Mesopotamia. He went to where Abraham's family dwelt. Nahor was his brother of Abraham. And Nahor would have had a daughter at that time. So how did he go? How did he know? Well, he traced his way to find out the family of Abraham, Yahweh directing him as Abraham told him. Now, Nahor had gotten through the son of Nahor. If you flip back to chapter 22, in verse 23, chapter 22, Genesis 22, verse 23, you will read, and Bethuel begat Rebekah. These 8 Milcah did bear to Nahor, Abraham's brother. Last week I asked you to mark that place because why they mentioned that verse there was to let you know what will be coming on later. That is this place we are now in chapter 24. You find out that Nahor had gotten a son through Milcah, and that son is Bethuel. And Bethuel begot Rebekah. So the son of Nahor, Bethuel, had gotten a lady or a daughter who now is available for Abraham or Abraham's son to take as wife. So here we see Nahor had son called Bethuel. Bethuel beget Rebekah. That's what transpired there. Now, we look at what Abraham feared. What was that Abraham feared? Abraham's fear. Abraham's fear for Isaac's wife. Covenant promise was upon Isaac. Now, this covenant that Yahweh made, which is promise for what? For seed. You can see this seed here. This seed has come, Isaac, and the land is what Abraham will never break. Now let's listen very well here. We play with the word of Yahweh. We play with the Bible we read. We joke with the call of Yahweh. Because we don't understand what you are doing. We don't understand. And most times when we do, we take it as a way of life, because we are born and bred in the Gentile world that does not understand what keeping agreement or covenant is. The covenant between Yahweh and Abraham was done under life situation. Animal was involved, or animals were involved. These animals, in order for that covenant was, in order for the covenant to have effect, or to work perpetually forever, animals' blood was shed. These animals that were killed, their blood were spilled, which connotes or gave us the understanding that if Abraham breaks the covenant, the blood of the animals that were shed will, Abraham's position will be taken to that situation or position, Yahweh will cause the blood of Abraham or even the children to be shed in that way. So Abraham was avoiding a situation where he will break this covenant so that his blood or the blood of his children, to be spared. He was making sure that no one will break it and die. If that covenant was broken, if a woman was taken for Isaac outside the loins of Abraham, what it will mean is that a different seed will come through Isaac. So Abraham was looking at the seed tracing. Abraham had the eye of faith, watching the word of Yahweh. Through you, through your son Isaac, through Isaac's son, and the sons that will come, the very seed of Yahweh will come into the world. So Abraham made sure that Eliezer will not derail, go outside that covenant, because he didn't want Yahweh to kill him or to kill his offsprings and to begin all over again. So it's very, very important. What we are into, why we are called Israelites, is because we are under this covenant. Get it right, get it clear. Because if you fail to get the book of Genesis straight into your head, you won't understand the Bible. And that is why Christianity is wishy-washy. Anything goes. What is happening here, seed, and the land is put together under covenant. Covenant that no one has the right to break. Abraham has no right to break it. Yahweh has no right to break it. Each party must keep their own side of the agreement forever and ever. And what signpost this covenant between Yahweh and Abraham? What signpost it was circumcision, which is what I mentioned before. We saw that in the previous chapters where Yahweh stated that this must be kept forever. And today, there's a lot of arguments whether circumcision is to continue or not. And some people will tell you, Apostle Paul said circumcision is cancelled. Apostle Paul didn't say that. But it got to a point that the Corinthians were so arguing. The Galatians were so arguing. All those Gentile people, circumcision, in order to put harmony or make sure that the gospel continue to thrive, to move forward. Because they were arguing that Yahshua, who is the seed, Yahshua the seed, has come. So by him coming, the issue of circumcision is no longer tenable, because what we have now is the circumcision of the heart. Circumcision of the heart. And what does that mean? If you baptize in the name of Yahshua, if you baptize in the name of Yahshua, you are son of Abraham. And by son of Abraham, you are son of Yahweh. But that argument doesn't hold water, because Apostle Paul said, look at what happens is that if you say circumcision is important, and some people say it's not important. Now, what is important, Apostle Paul gave a decision that what is important is keeping the what? The law. Keeping the commandments. Keeping the commandments is what is important. If you keep the commandments of Yahweh, that is what is important. So, is circumcision not part and parcel of the commandments? In fact, not only is it commandment, but it is a covenant. So if it is a covenant, we do say covenant commandments. Agreement that was reached. So if it's part of the agreement that was made for the covenant and for the commandment to be solid, so Apostle Paul was indirectly telling them what is important is keeping the commandments. So when you keep the commandments, you have kept what? The circumcision. So technically, Apostle Paul told them that circumcision is still in vogue. It's something that you must continue to keep, or else the person will derail. So we see Abraham taking the servant Eliezer through the covenant, letting him know what obtains, letting him know what Yahweh has told him, letting him know the consequences of derailing from the covenant, as the covenant has been spelled out for us today. If you look at Exodus chapter 20, verses 1 to 17, it spells out our covenant we must keep. And Jeremiah 31 to 34 also tell us about the new covenant which Yeshua will bring to us. And Yeshua came 2,000 years ago, also fulfilled Exodus chapter 20, 1 to 17, telling us that it is still the covenant of Yahweh. We must continue to keep it. Only what he did was to do what? Renew it with his blood. By his blood, there is a new way of taking the covenant, obeying the covenant, because through his blood, at the end of the day, when he rose from the dead, he gave us the Spirit, his Holy Spirit. So his Holy Spirit gave us gift. We receive gift. Now, the gift now empowers us to obey. You see where there are the difference. The old covenant commandment and the new covenant commandment. So the new covenant commandment, which Yeshua now strengthened as given to us in Jeremiah chapter 31, 31 to 34, strengthens it. In fact, Yeshua himself, if you go to Matthew chapter 5, he enlarged the commandment. He added some more. If you look at a woman lustfully, just mere looking, not even taken to bed, the person has destroyed the commandment. The person has committed adultery or fornication, looking at a woman lustfully. If you say to your brother or your sister, Raka, you fool, you have done what? You have destroyed the covenant commandment. You have committed murder. You have killed. So most of them, he strengthened, he enlarged. So people are saying he removed. I tell you, Yeshua added. He cannot remove. Why? The Father had told us before he was born that he will not remove, but he will magnify it and make it honorable when he comes. And that was exactly what he did. That was exactly what he did. Look at Isaiah chapter 42, verse 21. Yahweh is well pleased for his righteousness' sake. He will magnify the law. Who? He said, he will magnify the law. Who will magnify? Yeshua. He will magnify the law and make it honorable. So if you look at Matthew chapter 5, Matthew chapter 6, Matthew chapter 7, that was exactly what he did. Was exactly what he did. But did his people listen? The Jewish people, did they listen? Israelites, did they listen? Up to now, are we listening? Yeshua said in verse 22, but this is a people robbed and spoiled. They are all of them snared in holes, and they are hid in prison houses. They are for prey, and none delivered, for a spoil, and none says, restore. They jettisoned the commandment, and as a result, they went into captivity. As a result, they were ensnared. As a result, their enemies dealt with them. As today, enemies are dealing with us. Wherever in Africa, look at what is happening. The Fulanis are rising higher, 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 higher. They are Islamizing Africa, West Africa, Nigeria, Islamizing, taking over. All over the world, they are rising. You can see now they are making peace with Israel. If you open your TV now, you will hear that they are making peace with Israel. Gradually, they have started. Gradually. About 2 of them have, in fact, today, Donald Trump was telling us this evening, in fact, he was congratulating Israel and Bahrain for agreeing to begin. The peace talk has been going on. They have now agreed to, live peacefully, to exchange embassies and ambassadors. Peace, 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 peace. We bless Yahweh for peace. We thank Yahweh for peace. But Yahweh warned, when peace is being echoed, Papa is echoing peace. Pope calling the whole world religions. Come, we will achieve peace in the world. Come. But is it peace the agenda? There is something beneath that agenda. There is something beneath it. So that is what Yahweh is saying here. At the end of the day, all that agenda, secret agenda here and there, will come. So the people will be robbed and spoiled. So they are all of them snared in holes. They'll be taken into captivity. They'll be dealt with. Because they did not keep the covenant. They did not keep the commandments. They did not follow the way of Yahweh. They fell from first commandment, second commandment, third commandment, fourth commandment, fifth commandment, 10th commandment. They derailed them. They followed the Gentile world. The Gentile world deceived them. The Gentile world asked them, peace, peace, let's do it our way. So before, when they were asleep, the Gentile world invaded them, wrapped them up, caged them, dealt with them. That is what is happening even in Nigeria. In eastern part of Nigeria today, the Igbos are being held. They are being held in holes. They are being snared. They are being led in prison. Their daughters, their sons are being slaughtered. Because they left the way of Yahweh. Because they left the covenant commandment. That's why I said you must be careful. We are covenant keepers. Don't behave like the Gentiles. Don't behave like the Christians who said the covenant commandment has been taken away. Don't. You see where Abraham was hammering to his servant. And the servant understood. Let's go on and see how the servant carried the word of Abraham. And Yahweh followed him. As Abraham said, Yahweh will follow you. Because I have agreement with him. Look, because you have agreement with Yahweh, I'm telling you, when you don't know how to move forward, when there is no more, you don't know where the road is moving or taking you to, stand where you are. Raise up your hand and say, Yahweh, open my eyes to see where I'm going. Give me grace to overcome. Whatever it is, even if there is no food in the table, even if it is sickness, even if it is trouble, even if it is sword, even if the Fulanis are carrying sword, coming towards you. Raise your voice before him, and Yahweh will answer, because you have a covenant with him. Covenant of what? To keep his word, to keep his commandments, to follow him, to serve him. I'm telling you, Yahweh will respond. That is what he's calling us. That is what he's telling us. We should not behave like those who have him, yet we behave like Gentiles. He doesn't want us to behave like Gentiles. He doesn't want us to be like people who have him, yet we don't know him and we don't call upon him, simply because we break the covenant at will. He doesn't want that. He doesn't want that. Let's continue. Verse 24. Chapter 24, verse 24. And she said unto him, I am the daughter of Bethuel. By this time, Eliezer had moved, going towards Mesopotamia, approaching the family, close to the family house of Abraham. Saw Rebekah, and Rebekah was out there, with camels, giving them water and, tending the animals. And here was Eliezer, come close, and began to make the inquiry, asking the lady and all that. So the lady is talking with him here. Whom did he meet? The first person he met was Rebekah, and began to talk to the lady, and the lady began to explain herself. And now the lady will take him down to the father's house, just like when Yahweh said, Moses, leave Egypt, go to the land of where is that land now? Where he ran to for 440 years. Lebanon. No, it's not Lebanon. What is the name of this man he ran to? And he stayed with him for 40 years. He later married the daughter. The same man, the same situation that Moses faced was the same situation that Eliezer faced in this particular circumstance. Verse 24. And she said unto him, I am the daughter of Bethuel, the son of Milcah, which she bare unto Nahor. See? Genesis 22, verse 23 we looked at is being explained here by Rebekah herself. I am the daughter of Bethuel, the son of Milcah, which she bare unto Nahor. She said, moreover, unto him, we have both straw and provender enough and room to lodge in. And the man bowed down his head and worshipped Yahweh. Who bowed down? Eliezer bowed down. When this news, information came to his ears, this lady has said, oh, don't worry, we have a place you can sleep, no problems, and after explaining herself. And Eliezer correlated relationship between this family and Abraham. Eliezer saw clearly that this is the hand of Yahweh. So he bowed to Yahweh and said, oh, my master did say that Yahweh will go with me. This is it. Yahweh, you have done it. You have done it. I know that we are not even talking of the marriage yet. It will be done between him, Eliezer, and the family. But the introduction gotten here so far shows the direction that Yahweh is leading. So he blessed Yahweh. Verse 27. And he said, blessed be Yahweh Elohim of my master Abraham, who has not left destitute my master of his mercy and his truth. I, being in the way, Yahweh led me to the house of my master's brethren. Have you seen it? Yahweh, if you are keeping his covenant, just open your mouth. Yahweh will answer you. Yahweh answered the prayer of Abraham. Abraham just said simply, oh, Eliezer, go. Don't go to any other place, but go to my family house. Go. Yahweh will go with you. That was the prayer. And that was it. Verse 28. And the damsel ran, that is Rebekah, and told them of her mother's house these things. She quickly ran to the house and told what transpired. And Rebekah had a brother, and his name was Laban. And Laban ran out unto the man, unto the well. And it came to pass, when he saw the earring and bracelets upon his sister's hands, and when he heard the words of Rebekah his sister, saying, Thus spoke the man unto me, that he came unto the man, and behold, he stood by the camels at the well. And he said, Come in, thou blessed of Yahweh. Wherefore standst thou without? Why do you stand outside? Come in, come in, come in. For I have prepared the house and room for the camels. And the man came into the house, and he ungathered his camels, and gave straw and provender for the camels, and water to wash his feet and the men's feet that were with him. That was the culture of the people of Abraham, even to the land, or in the land where he was born. If you get into the land of people of Yahweh, they will give you water to wash your feet. And the camel that he came with, because he brought so many goods with him, that he will give as presents for the marriage, something to be done. So the camel, not only Eliezer went with also a servant. So those camels were, given water and fed. And that was even joy in the heart of Eliezer. He knew that the mission was a success already. Verse 33. And there was set meat before him to eat. And he said, I will not eat until I have told my errand. And he said, Speak on. So here, Eliezer, before he would take anything, he said, I have a mission. I'm on a mission. I have, something to let you know. There's something that brought me to this family. And before I will take anything, I will let it out. Verse 34. And he said, I am Abraham's servant, and Yahweh has blessed my master greatly, and he has become great. And he has given him flocks and herds and silver and gold and merchant men servants and maid servants and camels and donkeys. And Sarah, my master's wife, bare a son to my master when she was old, and unto him has he given all that he has. And my master made me swear, saying, Thou shalt not take a wife to my son of the daughters of the Canaanites, in whose land I dwell, but thou shalt go unto my father's house, and to my kindred, and to a wife unto my son, and to my kindred, and take a wife to my son. And I said unto my master, Peradventure, the woman will not follow me. And he said unto me, Yahweh before whom I walk will send his angel with thee, and prosper thy way, and thou shalt take a wife for my son of my kindred and of my father's house. Then shalt thou be clear from this my oath, when thou comest to my kindred. And if they give not thee one, thou shalt be clear from my oath. And I came this day unto the well, and said, O Yahweh, of my master Abraham, if now thou do prosper my way which I go, behold, I stand by the well of water, and it shall come to pass that when the virgin cometh forth to draw water, and I say to her, Give me, I pray thee, a little water of thy pitcher to drink. And she said to me, Both drink thou, and I will also draw for thy camels. Let the same be the woman whom Yahweh has appointed out for my master. As I began to narrate the discussion and the message Abraham gave to him, and how he must get a wife from his clan, from his family, and not outside. And after listening to his voice and his message from his master, the obvious thing was that Rebekah, was agreed that, or the family agreed that Rebekah should give her consent. So at the end of the day, it was the lady that, came out to declare what will happen, the mission of this young man. So Rebekah was the woman Yahweh led Eliezer to take for Isaac, the daughter of Bethuel, son of Nahor, as we read before. Now the brother was Laban, and Laban did kind of an in-between errand between Rebekah, the family, and Eliezer that came, and he made sure that Eliezer was made comfortable. Now, after introducing himself and telling them how successful Abraham had become a great man in the land of Canaan, so he told them what was his mission. And he told them that Abraham prayed for him, and told them that Abraham's Yahweh will lead him. And the sign he got so far proved that Yahweh was with him and the mission will be successful. So he told them that he saw the lady as Abraham, or he tried to put it before Yahweh, any lady or lady virgin that came to him, did all the needful, at the end of the day, that will be the lady. And he said, as he prayed, as soon as he arrived to the place where Rebekah is, the same thing happened, and that was it. And this is the reason I came. I came that I would take Rebekah for a wife for Isaac, son of Abraham. So after declaring all his mission, the family had to consider what next to do. Now, at the end of the day, they put everything before Rebekah. Rebekah has to speak for herself. The family listened, heard Eliezer speak his mind, what he came for. So let's listen to Rebekah. Verse 50. Then Laban and Bethuel answered and said, the thing proceeded from Yahweh. We cannot speak unto thee bad or good. What you have just narrated, Eliezer, is the Yahweh's doing. Now, when you want to do anything, don't do it because you just want to do it. Do it because Yahweh is sending you. Every child, every person of Yahweh must put this in his mind. You want to go to work, don't just go because you have gotten the employment or you are good at the place of your work. You know how to do it. Always commit your stepping out before Yahweh. For that work you want to go that day, Yahweh, thank you for giving me this work. Yahweh, bless your name because everything I do, you approve. And I know tonight as I'm going, I will go with you. And I have never gone to this work, I got problems. You're always in charge. Take control. Everything I'm going to do, whether it is in the day or in the night, Yahweh, you have always been there with me and for me. Take over so that all the glory will come back to you at the end. Yahweh will go with you, and at the end of the day, when you come back, you say, Yahweh, thank you. I've gone to this work, I come back. You did it. You are always doing it. Glory be to your holy name. Tomorrow, Yahweh will go with you. Tomorrow, Yahweh will go with you. That applies in everything you are doing. You are going to market. You are going to, whatever you are going to school. You want to write your dissertation. You want to do anything. Submit it to Yahweh. At the end of the day, you will see success. At the end of the day, don't do anything because you have the power to do it. Don't do anything. Whether you are trading, running business, whatever you are doing, commit it to Yahweh. Thank Him and ask Him to guide you, direct you. And at the end, give Him glory. Just like that. That's how our life is run. We have no capacity, we have no power to run our lives. Look at this family. After Eliezer narrated and told them how he was led by the Spirit of Yahweh, guided into that home, the people said, look, everything you have said, we have seen the hand of Yahweh. So Yahweh is in charge, Yahweh is in control. Would we say no? No, we can't alter anything. But to whom this matter is resting in her oars, in her hands, let she speak. Let she speak. So they call Rebekah. Rebekah has to speak. Verse 51. Behold, Rebekah is before thee. Take her and go, and let her be thy master's son's wife, as Yahweh had spoken. And it came to pass that when Abraham's servant heard their words, he worshipped Yahweh, bowing himself to the earth. So, in the previous verses there, they have called Rebekah, and Rebekah has accepted she will go. And here, Rebekah said, I will go with him. And the heart of Eliezer rejoiced before Yahweh again. And he bowed to Yahweh again. Yahweh did it. See, all this process has to go. Hinder me not, because they wanted him to stay about a week. When this deed was done, Eliezer, what was in Eliezer's heart is to go home and showcase to Abraham that Yahweh has done it, that he has gotten result. So Eliezer here spoke to them and said unto them, hinder me not, seeing Yahweh has prospered my way. Send me away that I may go to my master. And they said, we will call the damsel, the Rebekah, and inquire at her mouth. And they called, because maybe Rebekah was thinking, after a week or the other about they will be leaving. But Rebekah, will you leave immediately? So they have to call her to find out if she will go with them. Go with Eliezer and the other servant. And they called Rebekah and said unto her, will thou go with this man? And he said, I will go. And they sent away Rebekah, their sister, and her nurse, and Abraham's servant and his men. So at the end of the day, it wasn't just Rebekah that went. They also sent a nurse with Rebekah. And the name of that nurse is called Deborah. Get that in Genesis chapter 35 verse 8. Deborah was given to Rebekah as a nurse from the family, so that at the end of the day she will be helping Rebekah in everything. I think that is the culture as well, or tradition in the family. And they blessed Rebekah, the family blessed Rebekah, and said unto her, thou art our sister, be thou the mother of thousands of millions, and let thy seed possess the gate of those who hate them. This is like the pronouncement of Yahweh. They blessed her in the way that the people of Yahweh are blessed. She will possess the gate of her enemies. She will be mother of thousands of millions. The same thing was told Sarah. So that blessing is also from the family lineage of Abraham imparted to the daughter, imparted to Rebekah. Rebekah is going to be a mother of many people, nations. And Rebekah arose and her damsels, and they rode upon the camels and followed the man. And the servant took Rebekah and went his way. And Isaac came from the way of the well Lahiroi, for he dwelt in the south country. By that time, Isaac has gotten his own home, his own house, and he dwelt in his own area within the south. What was he doing? Verse 63. And Isaac went out to meditate in the field at the evening tide. And he lifted up his eyes and saw, and behold, the camels were coming. This man went out there to meditate, to speak with Yahweh, to pray to Yahweh, if you like. And when he lifted up his eyes, he saw these people coming. He saw them coming. Every time, anytime you are communing with Yahweh, it will result to something good. Yahweh, guided the life of Isaac, and all through his life, like Abraham, he took so much from the Father. He learned to commune with Yahweh. He learned to trust Yahweh. He learned to have faith in Yahweh. He learned to obey the word of Yahweh, the voice of Yahweh. He learned to keep the law of Yahweh. He followed after his father. In fact, the Bible said he did even greater in terms of even the blessings was more than Abraham had. We heard somewhere there that Abraham was great. He was greatly blessed. Isaac was far more greatly blessed than Abraham. So, but something happened as we look in verse 64. And Rebekah lifted up her eyes, and when she saw Isaac, she alighted off the camel. She lighted off the camel. For she had said unto the servant, What man is this that walketh in the field to meet us? Who is there in the field coming towards us to meet us? Who is that man? Something in her head told her she would have been seeing people around and all that, but that man, that the way the man was coming, something was suggesting to her that this must be the fellow. So she inquired from the servant, from Eliezer, Who is that man? And the servant said to her, It is my master. That is Isaac. It's my master. Therefore, she took a veil and covered herself. Now, let us catch it. Rebekah, a young lady, a virgin. This is why I say this is tradition. This is value. This is the culture we are learning. We are returning back to our family culture. Israelites, we are children of... When you say you are a child of Abraham, I'm of Abraham's seed, Isaac's seed, Israel, I'm an Israelite. This is their culture. Don't listen to what anybody is telling you out there. Listen to what the Bible is saying. Listen to the word of Yahweh. When this lady, Rebekah, took what? Veil. She took veil, covered herself. She took veil and covered herself. Why? Now, this is it. Old Testament and New Testament is going to speak now. Listen carefully. This is particularly for ladies, for women. You that is very careless, opening your head, particularly when you walk into the house of Yahweh. Particularly, look at what you must do and what you should be doing. Perhaps we are not doing it. She took a veil and covered herself. 1 Corinthians 11 verse 10. Somebody quickly. 1 Corinthians 11 verse 10. For this cause ought the woman to have power on her head because of the angels. Rebekah, when she was told, that is the master of Eliezer, the husband, Isaac, said, this is my husband. This is my angel. She wrapped up herself, covered her hair. Why? Why did she have to cover her head? Why? Isaac, was he angel? No. But angel for her, yes. Because it was commanded, Yahweh commanded it, that the woman should be subject to the husband. The woman should, let's go to Genesis. That's where it all started. Yahweh commanded Adam and Eve in the way they should live. Genesis chapter 3. Genesis chapter 3. A woman is not a product of herself. A woman is the product of the man. And under the man, that is the command. That is the command. Let's read verse 16. Genesis chapter 3 verse 16. Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee. And thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee. So part of that and the sign is taken from the head of the woman. The man is the head of the woman, as Yahweh is the head of, Yeshua is the head of the man, and Yahweh is the head of Yahweh. In that, hierarchy of authority, so to speak, Yahweh made orderliness or commanded orderliness exist in a family. Yahweh is the head, followed by Yeshua, followed by the man in the house, then followed by the woman who is under the authority of the man. The woman is living via the desire of the husband, and the man shall rule over the woman. 1 Timothy chapter 2 verse 12. 1 Timothy chapter 2 verse 12. Let me take it from verse 11. Let the woman learn in silence with all subjection. But I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over the man, but to be in silence. The woman should not usurp authority. The woman should learn from the husband. The woman should learn from the husband. Now, beyond that, let's see this covering of head. This covering of head. We looked at 1 Corinthians 1 Corinthians. Let's look at just give me a sec. Oh, where is my 11 Just a minute. I think it's somewhere in Ephesians. I tend to lost tracking of that particular Bible portion. But in Ephesians, the Bible said a woman should cover her head. Bible talk about a woman covering her head. Here in 1 Corinthians, it talks about a woman, verse 9. Let's take it from verse 9, 1 Corinthians 8, 9. For the man is not of the woman, but the woman of the man. Neither was the man created for the woman, but the woman for the man. For this cause ought the woman to have power on her head because of the angels. Right. Not just because of angels. It is not permitted for women to leave their hair uncovered. And the reason this lady covered her head was because she was given honor. Remember what Yahweh said. Abraham knew that culture. And from the very family Abraham came from, they knew that culture. Right from Adam and Eve, it has been a culture. To Noah, to Shem, to Eber, to Abraham. They knew that culture, that a woman covers her head because to the man, it is honor to the man. If she leaves her head uncovered, it shows equality with the man. It shows, in fact, and that's why the Bible said because of angel. Because if angel walk in their house, the angel will be wondering who is the man? Who is the woman? There is a possibility that the angel will be wondering what is happening in the house. And they will be breaking the law. Somebody will tell you, look, this is the era of liberality. This is the era of equality. This is the era of let us, any man, you can do anything whatsoever. We are living in a life of everybody do his will. It's not everybody do his will. And that is why the world is upside down. That is why home is upside down. Nobody takes to his own position or to the place of his call. A man has a place of his call in the house. A woman has a place of her call in the house. Children have place of their call in the house. So if we leave our duties or the values, tradition, the culture of how Yahweh, placed us, there'll be chaos, there'll be problem, there'll be trouble. So Yahweh wouldn't want that to happen in the midst of his people, and anybody that is subscribing to doing anything anyhow, the person will be in trouble. So woman must honor the husband. Some people say it must be the woman. It's a respect is reciprocal. This is not issue of respect here. Get it right. It's the issue of making what Yahweh said to happen in the house to work. Let it work. Honor your husband. Woman, that is what you have to do. A man will also, love the wife. That is what the Bible commanded. But when it comes to, issue of this covering oneself, we must be careful. Today we are taught that a woman can put on whatever she liked. If Abraham, Rebekah, Sarah, even Eve, if they will wake up today and see the world as it is, they will run back to where they are coming from. Why? Because the values and cultures and traditions and what Yahweh commanded has been derailed. And that is why the world is sinking. Yahweh has his own way of life, lifestyle of his children, lifestyle of his people. It's been derailed. It's been derailed. A woman will not wear what pertains to a man. Let us go to Deuteronomy chapter 22. Somebody open to Deuteronomy 22. We follow the Gentile world. We must be very, very careful. Hey, we must be very, very careful. Very, very careful. Because that is why many will not enter into the land of Israel. When Yeshua comes back to restore the land, when Yeshua begins to take Israel back to the land, many will not enter there. Because the Bible said it's a holy land. And in these latter days, when Yahweh is sanitizing that place, and is sanitizing his people, making them to live according to his word, he said everybody must toe the line of the scriptures, or the word of Yahweh, the covenant. The covenant must come into full force. You can't live your own way at all. 22 verse 5. Read it for me, Junior.
The woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man, neither shall a man put on a woman's garment. For all that do so are abomination unto Yahweh, thy father.
A woman shall not wear that which... How many men wear skirts in the street? Apart from the Gentile world that you can see that. How many men? Unless women were men who are completely... And when you see them, you know that they are evil. In fact, you hardly see men wearing women dress, bra, skirt. Unless all these lesbians and homosexuals and all that do whatever they like. Leave them. They have caught up with fire. Yahweh is saying, follow my tradition. And the Gentile one says, we can't follow your tradition. You can't follow your values. You can't follow your ethos. You can't follow your way of life. It's a cake. It's not modern. Hey, look at what is happening to them. Look at what is happening to them. Oh. But you find out that women wear so much of what pertains to men. Women, they wear what pertains to. This is why there is so much trouble, even in the life of women, because not listening, not hearing. If you look at the land of Sodom and Gomorrah, and the other 2 or 3 adjacent cities that align with them that Yahweh wiped out. That was what was going on there. That's why they were not able to survive. What do you think? Why do you think the wife of Lot was not able to get out of that land? She was not tuned to the values of Yahweh. Those angels who told Lot and the wife and the 2 daughters to check out, they knew that that woman will not make it. Even Lot, it was by grace of Yahweh, because the angel had to drag Lot out and the wife. Yet the wife missed it because the values of Sodom and Gomorrah was ringing in her head. How can I live all this? How can I live this tradition? How can I live these values? At the end, she submitted her life. That was it. Yahweh is calling I and you. We think it's a light thing. Adam and Eve practiced what we are reading today. Noah practiced what we are reading today. Shem practiced what we are reading today. Shem, who taught Abraham himself, even Habar, they practiced what we are reading today. And Abraham learned it. Even the family from where Abraham came from, they practiced the norms of Yahweh. They followed his way. And we are suggesting to Yahweh the best way to go, how we should live our lives. I have to stress on this because we are guilty of all this. We are guilty. Even till today, tomorrow we are still doing it. But I pray that after tonight, you will not return back to vomit. You will not return back to what I'm talking about, because it is the word of Yahweh. This is part of covenant. Every word of Yahweh is part and parcel of the covenant. And we must believe him. Abraham believed Yahweh. That's why a single prayer of Abraham worked. It's like a flash of lightning. When there is a flash of lightning in the dark, very darkness, thick darkness, you will see that wherever you are, you will see the flash. In fact, you will know that something has happened. So that was like the prayer of Abraham. When he prays, like a flash of lightning. If we are around, you know something has happened. Look at how he opened his mouth. He didn't make more than a sentence to Eliezer. And Yahweh, worked that way for him. 1 Corinthians 11, let's go back to that place, verse 3. But I would have you know that the head of every man is Messiah, and the head of the woman is the man, and the head of Messiah is Yahweh. We have lost touch with that. We have lost touch with that. Ephesians 5:23. Everything that Yahweh says today is queried. That is horrible. That is trouble. Yahweh is displeased with us. For me, I will do everything because, in fact, I love when each time I approach Yahweh, I go before him, I pray, he answers me. It gives me joy. It makes my heart glad. When I pray, I get answer. Oh, it makes me happy. I love it. But when Yahweh has said a thing and you are denouncing it, you are saying no to it, how can you think Yahweh will respond when you pray? Ephesians chapter 5 verse 23. For the husband is the head of the wife, even as Messiah is the head of the assembly, and he is the savior of the body. So let us follow that culture. Rebekah, nobody told Rebekah, as soon as Rebekah saw the husband, a virgin lady from very far country, coming into a place she doesn't know, and that as soon as they told her, this is my husband, she took the veil, covered herself, from her head, covered her face, herself, and that was it. Because I'm telling you, Isaac would have been disappointed to see her walking to him to greet him with her hair uncovered. He would have been disappointed. He would have been disappointed. And even Abraham, the father, would have been disappointed. But she fulfilled. Nobody told her, but it was something that she learned. She knew it from her mother's family house before she left. She knew that, and she abided by it. As soon as she was told, look at it again, I read it again. So I'm repeating it because we have said this some time ago, but we have not been taking this on board. We have not been hearing or taking it in our hearts to apply it. Verse 65. For she had said unto the servant Eliezer, what man is this that walketh in the field to meet us? And the servant had said, it is my master, Isaac. Therefore she took a veil and covered herself. How many young ladies today who the would-be ladies that may be getting married and they say, oh, let us go to your husband's place. And as she's getting there, she will cover herself. She wants even to uncover herself so that the man will say, your head is beautiful. Yeah. But Yahweh will be saying, you have failed the test. May you not fail the test again. Because in the days of ignorance, Yahweh overlook. Yahweh overlook. Yahweh give us chance to repent and to adjust and to do the needful. May Yahweh bless you to do the needful. And may He keep you. We would have gone to chapter 25, but let's leave it here so far. By next week, we take to 25 and 26. 25 and 26 are very, very great chapters. They have information to give to us, particularly 25 and 26, they have great information, because there we will see what transpired after the death of Sarah, the great woman, what happened in the family. Abraham was like entered into getting another woman, but Bible said it's concubine. After the death of Sarah, he didn't get it or get the woman in the time of Sarah. Though when the slave lady was there, it was Sarah that gave that woman to Abraham, the mother of Ishmael. But this time around, Sarah has passed on, and Abraham got concubine. Well, he's entitled to get another wife, quite all right, but that woman also was outside the covenant. That was the thing that, did Yahweh approve it? Yahweh has no problem with that, but Israelites have from the red man, Esau, the Edomites, is the real headache of Israel today. Then we see how Jacob has been surviving all this while. And when we enter chapter 26, we see what makes chapter 26 tick. So I pray that you'll be around by next week. Yahweh helping us. We will all look at what He wants us to see in those 2 chapters. Then we cruise. We've come up kind of fast track to make sure that we get to chapter 35, 40, and 50. That will be it, because that is where the children, we look at Israelites, who they are, the stuff they are made. And by the time you cover Genesis completely, I tell you, when you are studying the book of Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy, it will be smooth. Then when you are reading New Testament, oh, nobody will teach you Bible again, I tell you. Except the Holy Spirit that will be saying, this is where things anchor today. This is how things align today. This is what you have to do. This is how you put your feet. This is how you look. This is what is coming on. May Yahweh bless you. May Yahweh keep you. May Yahweh strengthen you. May Yahweh fortify His word in your heart. May Yahweh increase you as you progress and move forward to know the truth. The truth will set you free. You will escape from all your enemies. All the children of TORAH, all the children of Hagar, all the children of Esau, they will not see you. They will not ambush you. They will not stand against you. Every hand of the wicked raised against you will return upon the head of the wicked. In the name of Yeshua. Yeshua will keep all of us, guide all of us, and help all of us to enter into the kingdom, the very promised land, which is exactly what Yeshua, the seed, is working out to make sure that all of us are taken back to the land. May we succeed. May we inherit the land. May we be part and parcel of the program of Yahweh to cause Israel to shine, to blossom, and to rule the entire world through the power of Yeshua. Because Yeshua is our head, as we read in the Bible. And Yahweh is the head of Yeshua, the head of all. May Yahweh bless you. May Yahweh increase you. May Yahweh keep you. In Yeshua's name. Amen. Hallelujah.
Amen.
I will love